What's up, guys, and welcome back to another reaction video. A video created by Mr. Burgundy on YouTube. Please check him out. A link will be in the description below. This is part 4 of the dumbest liberal gun quotes. Again, it has nothing to do with politics or what side of the political spectrum you're on. There are some idiots on the Republican side who have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to guns. That being said, you guys know what the deal is. We're going to react to the things that are said on this video, talk a little bit of history, talk about laws, and generally just correct the things that are said in this video.
Held an AR-15 in my hand. I wish I had it. It is as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving.
No, it's not. 10 moving boxes, an AR-15 platform that's as heavy as 10 moving boxes. What's the size of your moving boxes? Are you carrying one plate in these moving boxes? Because that would be accurate. Guys, the average weight for an AR platform will be anywhere between 6 to 8 pounds. Really, I want to say it'd probably be anywhere between 5 and 8 pounds. And 8 pounds is really, really extreme. At 8 pounds, you're looking at having a completely steel rifle with a scope, with a bipod, with a pistol grip, with a flashlight, with actually probably about 6 flashlights, maybe 2 bipods. It's completely unrealistic. 8 pounds is, if your AR platform weighs 8 pounds, you're doing something wrong. 100% you're doing something wrong. For comparison, the heaviest rifle that I've ever owned was my Ruger Precision 22. And the only reason why that thing came in at 7 pounds. The only reason why that thing weighed 7 pounds was because of the bull barrel. If you don't know what a bull barrel is, look it up. I'm not going to go into what a bull barrel is, but I will say that that barrel alone accounted for at least half the weight of that firearm. And that's the reason why I got rid of it. If you want, look up pictures and videos of people shooting the Ruger Precision 22 rimfire, and every single one of them is shooting with a bipod, because that damn thing is so stupid heavy that it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible to shoot standing. You can't do it. And, well, you can, you just won't be accurate. The only way you're going to get accuracy out of a weapon that's 7, 8 pounds is if you're prone, if you're shooting from a table, using a bipod, or if you're shooting from a sled. That's the only way you're going to be accurate with something that heavy. Like I said, the average AR, depending on what it's made out of, depending on what kind of attachments you have on it, and depending on whether or not it's skeletonized, you're looking at anywhere between 5, 7, 8 pounds, somewhere in there. Definitely nothing as heavy as 10 moving boxes. Yeah.
And the bullet that is utilized, a 50 caliber, these kind.
AR-15s do not shoot 50 caliber. AR-15s shoot .223, or what's commonly known as the 5.56 NATO. They are roughly the same size as a 22. They're that small.
Kinds of bullets need to be licensed and do not need to be on the streets.
Who said do away with guns?
What are you out here for then?
Not to do away with guns, just to limit possession of guns, meaning just certain guns.
What type of guns?
For starters, the AK-15.
All right, for starters, the AK-15. Some of you out there are probably laughing because you don't think the AK-15 exists, when in fact it does. So this woman was unknowingly correct in what she said. She meant AR-15, but she said the AK-15. The AK-15 was in development by Russia in 2016, I believe, and then it was made public. It was publicly revealed in 2018. It basically replaces the AK-108, 103, something like that. But fact is, the rifle does exist. So for those of you who are laughing because you think that an AK-15 does not exist, the joke's on you. It does exist. That woman meant to say AR-15. She misspoke. She said AK-15. Moving on.
Linda, and I agree with banning fully semi-automatic guns.
All right, we talked about that. There's no such thing as a fully semi-automatic gun. It's either semi-automatic or it's automatic.
Definitely.
Are you for gun control?
Yeah.
Who should control the guns?
Who should control the guns? Probably the government.
Oh, no. See, that's what happened in Nazi Germany. The government controlled the guns, and what did they do? Do we know our history? Yeah, they caused the Holocaust. Millions of people were killed and put to death because the government controlled the guns. Wow, history has failed her big time.
Do you trust the government?
No.
I love it. The government should have control of the guns, but I don't trust the government. What the fuck? So yeah, you want to give the ability to kill people strictly to a government that you don't trust. That makes a whole lot of sense.
You don't trust the government, but you want them to control the gun?
You so dumb.
What would you say is an assault rifle?
Oh, the AK-15.
The AK-15, by definition, is an assault rifle. So, Mr. Burgundy, I'm sorry, buddy, but you're wrong on that one. It is, by definition, an assault rifle. It is a automatic rifle with a selector switch, and everything else that the military defines as an assault weapon. It is, and the AK-15 is a real gun.
And probably anything that holds above 6 bullets. That's my personal opinion.
Well, your opinion's stupid.
There's a lot of handguns that hold more than 6 bullets. Do you think we should
Yeah.
get rid of all handguns as well?
That holds over 6 bullets, yeah. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Do guns assault?
I'll give her credit. She stuck by her guns she stuck by her guns. That was not meant to be a joke. She stuck to her opinion. I can respect somebody who sticks with their opinion, whether their opinion is completely wrong or not. I don't like flip-floppers. I really don't. So the fact that she said, yeah, if it holds more than 6 rounds, it should be banned, and she was told, there's a lot of guns that do that. She stuck to her guns. She said, yeah, that's my opinion. I can respect that. I can. I don't agree with her, but I can respect her opinion.
People or do people assault people?
Both.
Guns do not assault people. Guns do not do anything unless acted upon by human force. That's just a fact. I think I said it in the first reaction video. I have my Glock 23 40 cal sitting in a holster right now, sitting in a drawer, and it's been like that for about 6 months. It hasn't done anything except collect dust. Every now and then I'll take it out to clean it, make sure that it's well lubed and everything else, just in case I get called on to go to an armed site where I'm going to have to carry a firearm. But until then, it sits inside the holster, inside of a case, inside of a drawer. It does nothing. So guns do not assault people. People assault people.
Are you Squidward?
So how does an inanimate object assault someone?
Because what happens is the people have access to the guns of what you might call mass destruction.
Fact.
Guns of mass destruction. Well, that's a new one. I've never heard of guns of mass destruction. I've heard of weapons of mass destruction, not guns of mass destruction. And he basically just said that guns don't assault anybody. Human intervention has to be involved. Therefore, humans assault humans.
Is that when police officers shoot, a lot of the times they miss anyway.
That's true. If you look at reports during a police shootout, roughly 18% of shots actually hit their target. Whether it hits the target where it's intended to hit the target or not is a completely different story. 18% of shots hit their target from both sides. And that's why people like myself are fully against this large capacity magazine ban. If only 18% of my shots are going to land and I've only got a 10-round magazine, that means only one of my shots is hitting the target. And in the heat of combat, a lot of things happen with the human body. Adrenaline starts flowing, endorphins start flowing. You get tunnel vision. Your body basically says, okay, this is life or death. We're going to shut down all of our senses except for the things that we need right now to keep us alive. And that becomes a problem in shooting. When in a life or death situation, when you're shooting and you're not seeing everything you need to see, you're not hearing everything you need to hear, you are going to miss a lot of your shots. This is scientifically proven, and it's even proven with gun stats when it comes to shootouts. So if I have a 10 round capacity magazine and only 18% of my shots are going to hit, that means one shot hits. Now, I might be aiming center mass, but I might only hit that person in the foot, and that counts as my 18% shot. It hit the guy in the foot. So now he's just pissed off. He's injured and pissed off, and he's shooting back at me. Yeah, I want more rounds. I'm sure the police officers want more rounds. I'm sure the bad guys want more rounds. Everybody's going to want more rounds when only 18% of shots actually hit their target in a life or death situation when it comes to shootouts. So she was right when she said most of the shots miss. Absolutely, most of the shots miss. But that's why we can't have these very limiting restrictions on how many rounds a magazine can hold.
I just got you on the camera.
Yes, a gun ban is absolutely what's necessary. I think that we need to start from scratch.
Gun ban is absolutely necessary. As you'll hear in the next video, I've already talked about that when we had the assault weapons ban. It did nothing. Gun crime actually went up. Mass shootings went up. Sandy Hook and Columbine both happened during the 10-year assault weapons ban here in the United States. It was completely, absolutely, 100% ineffective. It did nothing.
With the whole gun issue, we have people who think that it's okay to kill an intruder into their house.
Yeah. If you're coming into my house to cause me, my family, or my property harm, I will kill you. No questions asked. And I won't even have remorse for doing it. So the question I have for people like that is, all right, so you don't want to kill an intruder that comes into your house. I respect that opinion. An intruder comes into your house, knocks your husband out with a baseball bat, takes out your knee, and then goes and rapes your 10-year-old daughter. Are you going to wish you could take him out now? Are you just going to allow your 10-year-old daughter to be raped by some lunatic? Are you going to allow your wife to be raped? Are you going to allow your wife or your kid to be killed by an intruder? Or are you going to take that motherfucker out first? That's the choice that you have. Understand that, people. That is the choice that you have here in the United States. You take them out or they take you out. That's the cold, hard reality of the situation. And if you've never been in that situation, I'm happy for you. I hope you never end up in that situation. But heaven forbid you end up in that situation. I hope to God you've got a firearm on hand and you're ready to do what needs to be done.
What's a AR-15?
From my understanding,
oh, here we go. We know everything she's about to say is wrong.
Anything that has automatic
nope.
loading and refiring is something that can kill more people more quickly.
Nope. Absolutely not. Automatic weapons do not kill people more quickly. That's a proven fact. I've said it before in a previous video. When you're shooting an automatic weapon, you are fighting recoil like a motherfucker. And you have to be really, really well trained on that firearm to be able to shoot with accuracy. Full auto is used for basically to pin down the enemy so you can make your escape, and that's really it. Or it's used to disable a vehicle. If you're actually trying to cause injury to somebody, the last thing you want to do is shoot in full automatic, in automatic. If you're trying to hurt somebody, you put that thing in semi, and you pop off one shot, and you make every single round count.
What would you say is an assault rifle?
It's the, what is it, NR-15?
Did she say NR-15? This woman doesn't have a clue.
AR-15s?
What's an assault rifle?
A gun that can shoot.
What's the difference?
A gun that can shoot. Technically, they're right.
Between a semi-automatic gun and an automatic gun?
It's semi-automatic.
What is it? What does that mean?
It can shoot, like you pull the trigger, it shoots faster. Like a bump stock.
Nope, absolutely not.
Ep.4.
You're funny. How about having a safe zone where people can feel comfortable and you're not always worried about someone jumping up and trying to shoot you?
Yeah, see, we have those. They're called gun-free zones, and they happen to be where almost every single mass shooting happens. Schools, churches, they're gun-free zones, and that's where people target. They target the places that they know they're not going to get resistance. I mean, think about it. Put yourself in the criminal mind frame. You are out to kill as many people as possible, all right? Theoretically, I'm not saying go and do this. Just think about that. You are the bad guy, and you want to go out and kill as many people as possible. Are you going to go into the police station and start opening fire? Or are you going to go to the school down the road? Are you going to go to the movie theater? Are you going to go to the church? Where are you going to go to kill as many people as possible before you're taken out yourself? You're going to go to a gun-free zone. Logic dictates that you're going to go to the place that you're going to meet the least resistance. So this guy, he's basically saying, yeah, we need more gun-free zones. We need more victims. That's what we need.
I believe in the ban of all guns. I don't think it's necessary for civilians to carry around firearms and things that can kill people in an instant of a second.
Well, that's great, except criminals don't agree with you. They don't. Criminals are going to carry guns whether they're banned or not, and they are going to cause as much damage as they can with them, despite what the laws are. And that's why citizens need to have guns, because we have the right, the fundamental right protected by the Constitution of the United States to protect ourselves and our property and the people around us.
I don't see any reason for anyone to have one that's not going to assault somebody. You can't
Okay, we already covered that.
use them for hunting. They destroy the meat.
You don't destroy the meat. Again, you'll see it in the next video. This is a person who's never gone hunting before. This is somebody who's never actually shot a deer. You don't destroy the meat. You absolutely don't. The only way you destroy the meat is if you miss a vital, which allows that animal to take off and pump a whole bunch of adrenaline through its system. The adrenaline going through the blood vessels will destroy the meat. It'll make it basically unedible. So that's why hunters are probably the best people in the world when it comes to shooting animals for food, because hunters are the most ethical way of creating food versus some of these other places where you get your meat, where they put the animals through a whole bunch of stress, get that adrenaline flowing before they kill the animal, and the meat becomes rancid, man. It's nasty. Do yourselves a favor. Go to your supermarket, buy yourself some hamburger patties, and then go up into the mountains or the prairie or whatever, find a hunter, and try some of their meat. You will taste the difference. The difference between a hunter's meat and the grocery store's meat is night and day, guys. The hunter will kill that animal and drop that animal almost instantly. A good hunter. An average hunter will still hit vital organs. There might be some adrenaline that gets into the blood system because the animal's going to bolt, but not nearly as much as what you get from these cattle farms. So no, guns don't destroy the meat unless you're a piss poor hunter.
Policies would you like to see implemented?
More regulated background checks. I don't think that we should have rifles. There's no need for it. We are not military.
Yeah, as I'll say in the next video, we have Olympic sports that have rifles. So there's a need for them right there. There's sport shooting. There's clay shooting. There's target shooting. There's defensive shooting. There's all sorts of different types of shooting that don't involve killing somebody, that there absolutely is a need for rifles because rifles aren't just for killing. That may have been their intended purpose when they were first constructed, but just like any other tool, we found other uses for firearms, especially rifles. We use them both for sport, for pleasure, and for defense. Some psychos use them for offense outside of the military. Some psychos use them for offense, military and police. But the vast majority of people who own rifles, they're sport shooters. They go out there and they shoot up paper. I mean, if killing paper is such a horrible thing, then we're really bad as a human race if we're worried about paper lives.
Government from abusing power, such as the.
You have fun fighting somebody with an AR-15 that has a tank.
I don't know too many people who have a tank. But if we really want to go that route, we can look at the Vietnam War. There was a bunch of villagers who basically had pitchforks and a couple AK rifles who gave our military, with our ships, our missiles, our bombs, our tanks, our aircraft, gave us hell. And all they had was the most primitive of firearms. It can be done. If the will is there, the average person can take on an insurmountable force and make that insurmountable force either really feel it or turn away and run. In Vietnam, we turned our tails and ran. We got our asses kicked by a bunch of villagers with primitive weapons. Facts are facts.
Wow! He just called me the B word and grabbed my microphone. What a nice gentleman that is.
Open carrying in a crowd like this is a challenge, and it's legal.
It's legal.
It's legal. And they have tiny little micro penises.
Oh, for fuck's
so
sake.
they had to wear their giant penises for the whole world to see.
Even on women.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how that works, but that's just somebody who doesn't have an argument. That's what that is, guys. Don't be that person. If you're going to argue a point, actually argue with facts. Don't come out and say some ignorant ass shit like that because you just look like a dumbass. She lost the battle from the very beginning just because she didn't have anything intelligent to say.
Yes, but I don't believe that you need any caliber of gun that what they're talking about using now.
So we're talking about a 223. Like I said, it's slightly bigger than a 22.
What is it? What to you is an assault rifle? What exactly?
Something that can shoot bullets, sorry, not guns, shoot bullets at more than 14 bullets in a very short amount of time. With a handgun?
I could do that with a handgun. My magazines I can hold exactly 15 rounds. I can have 14 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. I can expel all 15 one of those rounds in less than a minute. If I really wanted to. It'd be a waste of bullets, but I could do it. With my training, I would probably hit more than I miss, but the average person would probably still hit more than they miss. Rapid firing with a handgun, because with a handgun, it's literally point and shoot. The more time you spend focusing with a handgun, the better the chances are that you're going to miss. With a handgun, what you want to do is you want to punch out, get your elbows locked, and shoot. And the reason for that is because your eyes are already looking at your target. When you punch out that firearm out in front of you, you're automatically going to align your sights with the eye and with the target. You're automatically going to have almost a perfect sight picture. So the moment your elbows are locked out, you squeeze off that round, you're going to hit your target. 99% of the time, you're going to hit your target. I'd be willing to say 100% of the time, you're going to hit your target. It's when you sit there and you hold the gun out and you try to focus, get that perfect little spot, that's when you're going to miss. Punch out, lock out, squeeze. Or how I train, push. Push that trigger. That's it. Look, punch out, lock out, push. You're going to hit your target. This guy, Mr. Man, what is that? Yellowish orange, burnt umber hair. You have no clue what you're talking about.
You shoot and you have to cock it, right?
Nope. No, you don't. With a semi-automatic rifle and with a semi-automatic handgun, when you squeeze that trigger, the way it works, and I'm dumbing this down, the way it works, you squeeze that trigger, you push that trigger. What happens is you let the hammer or the firing pin hit the primer. The primer ignites the powder. The powder burns, creating a gas. That gas pushes the projectile through the barrel. And whatever gas is not used up, that gas, in most cases, there are some differences, different firearms, but in most cases, those gases are then pushing the bolt or the, how do I dumb this down? The firing mechanism, I'll just call it the firing mechanism. I don't want to use too many technical terms. It pushes that firing mechanism, the slide, as he calls it, the upper receiver, it pushes that back. A spring then pushes it back forward. Now what happens when that slide comes back is that slide is grabbing the expelled chamber, the expelled round. It pulls it back, and this is called extraction? It extracts that bullet back. Now mind you, the bullet's already gone. It's out the barrel. It brings that casing back. It hits a part of the firearm that causes that casing to be pushed out and away from the firearm. All right, that's what happens when that bolt comes back. The spring pushes that bolt back forward. When the bolt comes back forward, it's grabbing the next round from the magazine and pushing it into the chamber. That's about as simplified as I can make how a semi-firearm, semi-automatic, that is the simplified way of telling you how a semi-automatic firearm works. It's way more technical than that, but that's Big Bird style.
No.
Do you think that anybody uses an AR-15 for self-defense?
Well, maybe they think they are. I mean, I don't know.
And there we go. At least she says she doesn't know. But here we go. Some headlines. Defensive use of AR-15. Man kills 2, wounds 1 attacker. No shots fired. Home intruders decide not to stick around after seeing their victim holding an AR-15. Oklahoma man uses AR-15 to kill 3 teen home intruders. Homeowner shoots intruder in Vance County break-in.
There's many Americans that use AR-15s for that very reason, for self-defense.
Well, who are they going to shoot?
Who are they going to shoot? Well, there's the headlines. You know who they're going to shoot. What do we got here? Liberals for gay space socialism. What?
Capacity. I think it separates the capacity, how much damage you can do and how fast. Exactly. So it's your ammunition that separates and makes a semi-automatic automatic.
Nope, no it doesn't. We've already discussed that. Most automatics that you are going to come in contact with are belt-fed. They don't have a magazine. Most. There are some automatics that do have a magazine, and they run out very quickly. or they're illegally modified. It's not the bullets that determine if it's an automatic or semi-automatic. It's how the firearm functions.
I would go for serious martial arts training and all kinds of training and disarm anybody with a gun.
Well, that didn't work out for Bruce Lee or Brandon Lee, but hey, you know, let's just go ahead and talk about two of the probably greatest martial arts experts out there who both got shot and killed. Yeah, I guess martial arts really don't do anything compared to a gun, because no matter how fast you are not faster than a bullet.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Then melt them down and use them for sky rises or buildings for apartment, and feed the homeless.
Feed the homeless with melted down metal. I'm sure they would appreciate that.
Feed the homeless.
That doesn't make sense.
Let's look at cars for.
Wait, hold on. I've got to see that. So we've got a pistol inside of a burger. This is awesome. They made a rifle out of pastries and bread and French fries. Oh, that's great. That is ingenious. And then we've got looks like a Glock. Yeah, that's a Glock. We've got a Glock in fried rice? Or is that mac and cheese? I think that's mac and cheese.
Makes sense.
Let's look at cars, for example. When you get into a car crash, are you going to blame the car? Probably not.
Hello, darkness.
Oh, I love it. She's like,
Smile, friend.
Aren't automatic weapons already banned in this country?
No.
That's technically true. They're not banned. They're just very, 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 very difficult to get your hands on.
What's an automatic weapon that's not banned?
I don't know a lot about guns.
You're protesting.
At least she admits she doesn't know a lot about guns, but like you said, why are you protesting it? If you don't know what you're talking about, why are you protesting it? You're protesting something you don't understand. What the hell? Is this some Team Rocket bullshit right here or what? Let me know if you got that reference.
So many people aren't even aware of what's right and what isn't. And we're here to basically, we just need to spread more awareness, because I didn't even know that, you know, and we've done our research.
Alrighty then.
So, like an AR-15, would you say that's an automatic?
Yes.
Nope, it's not. You didn't do your research.
So, actually, an AR-15 is a semi-automatic. Do you know what a semi-automatic and an automatic are?
Not really, so.
So you didn't do your research.
We've done our research.
Cars kill more people a year than guns. A gun is still more dangerous?
Yeah.
She just told you that cars kill more people than guns, yet guns are more dangerous. How so? I would love to hear the defense for that.
Because there's more opportunity for it.
Really, there's more opportunity for it. I can look out my window right now. It is... What time is it here? Let's look. It is 10 after midnight. I can tell you right now I'll see more cars out on the street than I will guns. Just being honest, there's definitely more opportunity for cars to kill people than guns.
We've done our research.
One of the 17 that died at the Parkland shooting, sadly, he was a teacher, and he kind of dove in front of the kids, right? He saved their lives, and he died in the process. Don't you think that he would have wanted to have a gun to save some kids' lives?
Fire with fire.
Well, you can fight fire with fire if you want to be honest about it. Fire is one of the methods that firefighters use to fight fire. And I don't like this question that she asked. I'll be honest. The question that she asked was very loaded, and it wasn't very intelligent, because we don't know what that teacher was thinking. We don't know what that teacher would have preferred. All we can do is speculate, and speculation does not make for good argument.
You don't think so?
Yeah, that's kind of like a saying that I've like kind of really thought of lately. Is that you can't fire with fire. If someone's shooting at you, you have.
You can't, again, fighting fire with fire. What do we think? What does she think we do in times of war? When the enemy shoots at us, what does she think we do? Do we just sit there and take it, or do we fire back? It's almost like she's never played a video game. It's almost like she's never seen a war movie. Clearly, looking at her, she's never been in the military. Um, it's, yeah, you do fight fire with fire. If somebody is shooting at you, you shoot back. That's like one of the first things you do is you shoot back. You make that fucker regret ever pulling that trigger.
A very slim chance of not getting hit, but you can't.
There's a huge chance of not getting hit. As we discussed earlier, only 18% of shots actually find the target.
Can't just whip out a gun and be like, I'm gonna come at you too, because a bullet can kill you real fast.
Yep, that's why we train on defensive shooting. When you see somebody reaching for their gun, what you do is you sidestep while you are drawing yours. You're still focused on the target. They're focusing on where you were. And that creates just enough buffer time for you to draw and get a bead on your target and shoot before they get to you. It's a very interesting tactic for those of you who do have handguns. I suggest you practice it during dry fire exercises, or if your range allows you to do movement and shooting, practice it at your range. It will save your life, or it can save your life if you are ever in that situation. Heaven forbid, I hope nobody watching this video is in that situation. But if you do find yourself in that situation where somebody has a gun pointed at you or they're fixing to draw a gun at you, sidestep to either side, left or right, it doesn't matter. Don't go backwards. Don't go forward. Go either left or right. Just do a sidestep while drawing your own firearm. That will give you a small amount of buffer time for them to react. The average human reaction time is 2 seconds. So in that 2 seconds that it's taken them to readjust their aim on you, you will already have your firearm out, pointed at them, and shooting. You should be pulling the trigger by the time they get their gun trained on you. Practice that. It will save your life.
If it hits you in the right spot. We've done our research.
What would you say is an assault weapon?
Something that's automatic, where you can just put in a clip and it just runs and runs and runs and runs.
Technically, she's correct. That would be an assault weapon, but it's not going to run and run and run and run. You're going to either, 1, let off the trigger, 2, run out of ammo, or 3, the firearm's going to malfunction. That's when it's going to stop firing. One of those 3 things has to happen for an automatic to stop firing. And sometimes not even then if you end up with a cook-off. But that's a topic for a different video.
Done our research.
So wouldn't you say that getting in a car and choosing to drive somewhere is more dangerous than a gun being holstered with a safety on?
Not even.
Very much even. I'm more worried about my life when I drive to and from work than I am when I'm at work carrying my firearm. I'll be perfectly honest. I'd rather be surrounded by a shit ton of people who are open carrying than to be out on the road. It's just, maybe that's just me, but I feel like if one of those idiots were to draw their firearm, everybody else would have theirs drawn on them. They're not going to get anything done. They're going to be ventilated pretty quickly. So yeah, I do feel safer around open carrying people who do open carry than I do driving down the road. Because driving down the road, you can be sitting there, you could be following all the laws, and next thing you know, you're smashed.
A gun is a lot more powerful, even though it's smaller in size and weight. It's there to hurt others.
More powerful? No, a gun's not more powerful than a vehicle. There's just no way that something the size of a fingernail is more powerful than a 2-ton vehicle. Alright, so that's the end of that video, guys. it was entertaining. I hope some of you out there learned something. Hopefully some of you were inspired to do a little bit more research, get some more education on firearms. That way you can make a better argument when throwing out your position. For those of you who are interested, and you're anti-gun, if you're anti-gun, I highly, highly recommend that you find somebody that you trust who does have guns, who is a pro-gun person, and go to the range and shoot with them. Just give it a fair shake. Have them start you off with something small like a 22 and gradually work your way up until you get to a firearm that you're really not comfortable with. But tell me that it's not a very empowering situation. Before I end this video, I just want to tell a quick story. There was a girl at the convenience store near where I live, and it took me about a full year of talking to her about guns before she finally agreed to come to the range with me. And mind you, she's very anti-gun. I finally was able to talk her into coming to the range with me. We went out to the range first thing in the morning, just as they opened up. That way there wasn't as many people there, so she wouldn't feel too uncomfortable being watched or anything like that. I set her up with my Savage 22 long rifle, iron sights, 50 meters out, on a Olympic regulation target, which is less than 5 inches in diameter. All right. Put her in the prone position, taught her how to operate the firearm, taught her how to use her breathing control, taught her how to push the trigger, taught her how to hold the rifle, did all of that. And I was right there next to her helping her out for the first 3 rounds. After that, I slowly backed away and just let her shoot. Every single one of her shots hit the 8, 9, or 10 on the target. I mean, she was amazing. And she really, really liked the 22. She loved shooting the 22. I then moved her up to the 9mm handgun. Shot that. She enjoyed that. Then we moved to the 380. She shot that. She liked that. Then we moved to my Glock 40 cal. She shot that. She was a little apprehensive with that, just because she just wasn't prepared for the recoil on it, even though it doesn't really have a whole lot of recoil. I corrected her grip. I locked her elbows. I literally held her elbows so she wouldn't push her elbows out. Literally held her elbows, fixed her grip, had her shoot off another shot. She didn't even feel the recoil. And she's like, oh, this isn't so bad now that I know what I'm doing. So yeah, not bad. Then we moved to the 1911 45, and she shot it. I'll give her credit. She shot it. But the fact of the matter is that gun was just way too big for her hands. So, the first time she shot it, it about jumped out of her hands, even with a proper grip. So I told her, okay, let's not do that anymore. And she's like, thank you, And so we ended up going back to the 22 because she really, really loved shooting the 22. And at the end of the day, we put in a good 6 hours at the range. I can't even tell you how many rounds she shot. But at the end of the day, as we were driving back, I was driving her back to her house. I asked her, hey, has your opinion changed on firearms? And she looked at me. She goes, I feel like a bitch, but yes, I love shooting, especially the 22. I want to get one. Will you help me buy one? Will you show me which one to get and all that good stuff? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. She still is kind of adamant about certain things when it comes to gun control and stuff like that, which is fine. But her opinion did change in the right direction to where she realized that guns weren't just for killing. You can actually go out to the range and have fun. And she did. She really, really enjoyed herself, and that made me smile. So for those of you who are anti-guns, all I'm asking is that you go out and give them a fair shake. Give it a try. Go to your local gun range. Ask them if they have a 22 that you can rent out, and do that. and do some shooting. Or if you know somebody, preferably if you know somebody, that's even better because they can help you get the right sight picture, get the right stance, do all that stuff. They can really help you be more accurate, which makes shooting even more fun. So that's all I'm going to ask of you guys who are anti-gun. If that's not enough to convince you, then so be it. There's really nothing else to say other than you're stuck to your beliefs. Nothing could change it, and that's fine. But understand that there are those of us out there who enjoy the sport of shooting just for the sport of shooting. We're not out here. We have no intention of killing anybody. I did enough of that in the military. I did enough of that in Iraq and Afghanistan. I never want to have to take another life. I'd much rather go to the range and shoot paper. That's what I enjoy doing. It's what I'm good at. I do competition shooting. I love it. It has nothing to do with shooting people. It has nothing to do with killing people. Why would you take that away from me? Why do you want to take that away from me? That's just ridiculous. Why would you take something that I enjoy away from me? That's like me taking your phone away from you. Anyways, guys, that's enough talking for me. Please, like I said before, go down to the comments section, go down to the description as well. Click on the link. Show Mr. Burgundy some love for putting this compilation together. And as always, be safe, be cool, and have fun. We'll catch you next time.